Okay, last time we talked, we scanned the mesh, and that was just kind of a fun fast forward video showing you all the tools it took. And now we're starting here in Nomad before we go into Shaper, because I'm not saying I'm the best person at this, but I'm saying I want to show you what you can and can't do, because until maybe they fix some stuff and how it makes your life a little simpler. You'll see that here on the right, let me unselect it. Take the gizmo off. Okay, this kind of rough one right here, this is the scan that we got. And you can see it's not manifold. And then here's the one I took into Nomad and I cleaned it up. And it's fully manifold. It's also extremely smooth. And then it's decimated on the voxels to where it's smaller. All right, this one, scan mesh 13K, and this one's 347K. So the more detailed one, the more smooth one is less voxels. Here I can just turn on wireframe in Shaper. In Nomad, and you can see, right? Anyway, it doesn't matter. You don't need to go through and make them all. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter, because Shaper won't work with mesh very well. And so whether it's manifold or not, you got the same issues. So let me tell you what. Yeah, that looks pretty. Nope, this is non-manifold. when you can see through it, you know it's not manifold. So meshes are hollow, and Shaper tends to be treats everything solid. So if I come over here, and I have this thing that I didn't. It's ugly, but that's okay. It came straight from the scanner, and I didn't spend any time fixing it. And I don't even know why I'm doing all of this stuff with it, because it doesn't matter. Okay, so if I come over here and I take this non-manifold item, I can't really trick Shaper into taking this mesh drawing and making it into a step file, right? So what would be ideal is to project it on this plane. So let's take this guy. Let's see, because that would make sense, right? We take this mesh object, and what would its shadow look like? And then we could trace that for vectors, right? But we come in here and we go into tools and project. And it says, nope, no good. And it doesn't matter what you do, whether you do it on this one, that's fully, it's just not gonna say, it just says it hates mesh. So what's something else we could do? We could project it. Maybe we can take a normal body, right? Let's make this really big by scaling it. And let's be tricky. Let's come over here and got so much stuff overlapped. Okay, and let's sink that into, let's plunge it there, right? And then let's do an intersection point. Let's see if we can do an intersection point. And take this, go to intersect, click that, and you're gonna get sheet body can't be selected. You see that at the top of the screen? And you think, oh, it's not a problem with mesh, it's a problem with sheets. It likes manifold mesh. Well, don't waste your time. Come over here, and let's take this character and plunge him down, and just get this one out of the way, and select the whole thing, and intersect. And we can intersect, right? Sometimes we're allowed to intersect, but what's gonna happen is it will turn everything into a mesh. So let me go back again and show you. So I'm gonna take the meshy object. Let's do a subtract, it'll be more visible. And I'm gonna subtract it from this nice CAD drawing, right? I couldn't do that with the skin, but I can do it with the mesh. And what happens? Oh, I didn't want to do a subtract. Gosh darn it. Back. This guy, I want it to subtract that guy. And you think, oh, look at that. I've got something I can work with. Well, you don't, right? Because what happens is it converted the first mesh body you had, and it took the nice step file, the nice shaper file, and it turned it, see how it looks like a star with all the, it turned it into a mesh. So you took your mesh and you took it into a perfectly CAD file, and by trying to trick it, now you have multiple meshes on your hand, which doesn't solve anything. So what I found to do, and let's just undo. And the other problem, and this is why I've done it this way, is I have not found a way in 3D space to constrain or lock or anything a mesh file, which I've tried, and if you figured it out, let me know. So if you're trying to trace this cat, and let's go into sketch, and I'm sketching it, all right, I'm sketching it, and then I do something stupid. What's going to happen is I can accidentally bump this cat at any time, and now my whole drawing's off. So we have to come up with a way to deal with it while it's locked in, because we can't lock it in place. And so the video I'm going to show you is going to be a speedy uppy, or a speedy up. If you think that name's horribly stupid and you think I'm retarded for using it, just put that in the comments. Okay, so the trick is we come in from the top or the bottom of the, pick a dimension that you like. Take the plane you're working on, move it on top or bottom. At this point, it really doesn't matter. And then, actually, I might do multiple planes here just to really show the point. Okay, so on this first plane, we're just going to draw an object, just a normal sketch. That's about the size of the thing we're making. Okay. And now we're going to take it and put it below it. And it's directly below it. And now we're going to work on this plane, this construction plane that's above it. And if you wanted to be fancy and get it just perfect, you could do it with, you could go ahead and start adding construction axes now. You could use the non-manifold part. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. Because what we're going to do is we're only ever going to work, let's see, and I want to move that above the object, and then we're going to come down into it. So let's say I wanted that curve, and we might do multiple curves, right? And basically what you're doing is you're taking the object, and you're going to use Shaper's cool functions, right? And I'm going to shave that piece underneath. Oh my gosh, I want to get focus. Underneath. And that way I'm never touching the mesh file. I'm only working on the plane. I'm lining things up, and I'm shaving off the piece below it. It's not awesome. I mean, you can also take measurements and get there and draw the object out, and then come in and shave off the pieces you don't need. That's actually what I did, but I just want to show everyone that when you're working with mesh and you just feel like you're at your wit's end, that it's not as bad as you think it is. So in this one, we're going to take this mesh file, we're going to move it until we get that perfect arc. give myself some more room. Okay. And let's go with 40. So that's not quite it. Let's go with 60 millimeters. All right, that looks pretty close. Now, that's going to screw up everything, right? Because I need to come in here and I need to line an arc. Because if I pulled that down, it would delete. Oh, see what I said about grabbing things by mistake? You're gonna do it every single time. Okay, so let's use the scissors. Boop. And now we have that good arc that will shave this piece of material underneath it. Let's get off sketching. Let's grab the material and let's just shave that piece off. And now you can see that we're starting to get there. And there's lots of different ways to do this, but if you want to figure out what the radius is and then throw it down, this is a way to do it. Especially if you've measured the device and you've got the exact measurements. But if you don't and you just have a mesh file and you just have to freehand it anyway, then work on the plane above it, drawing out your sketch, and then extrude that sketch down through the underneath object to shave off the pieces you want. And when you're done, you'll end up with a very nice vector. Now, when you're done with the vector and not any time before, that's when you would go in and start doing your edges, right? And smoothing things up. Do not do that until the very last step. Do not shave an edge and then round it out, because you'll get to a level of compound curves and not being able to undo or shade anything, and it'll drive you crazy. So draw a block as close as you can, level it up, shave it. The next couple minutes are going to be a speedy up video of how I did the bracelet all the way through. Just in case this wasn't obvious, you can see it go. And I'm trying to make it more interactive. I'm trying to make it more of my character. So if you hear the occasional swear word, that's going to happen, because I was drawing this thing and I printed it off and I printed it and it worked just perfectly. And then I was like, ah, shit. You know, I could have put his initials in there, or I could put bad mofo or off or anything, right? And I didn't. So I might make him another one and then just do that. And we're starting to get some requests for some vulgar things anyway. And so we made a crystal ball that tells someone to fuck off and some other things. So I'm going to try not to be scripted. I'm going to try to be more authentic and just show you straight from the iPad as I'm drawing it, instead of trying to do voiceovers and all that nonsense. All right. This is how I'll deal with meshes. Do not waste time with making them manifold. Do not waste time trying to drag over on top of them. Just work way above them so you never touch them, and shave down, and you'll get there. And here's a speedy up video. Thank you. Bye.